I'm so happy that it fits in my bag and it fits in there with the camera attached. I can even put the extender on. Here comes IO right now. That's what I'm working on. The autofocus tracking with the birds in flight, even in low light, high ISO, shooting 12,800, 6400 ISO. I've never used a camera that focuses so quickly. Once it has it, it just sticks on it. It's really, really spectacular. Hey, got something special today coming to you from the house. Aloha, good afternoon. Here in the front yard, I want to talk to you a little bit about the lens that I purchased to pair with the R1. When I had my Canon gear, I had the R3 and the R5, I had the EF 300 F2.8 Mark II, absolutely banger of a lens. That lens was fantastic. Then I also had the RF 600 F4, which phenomenal. Great lens, great lens. I used that for about 4 years, and while it certainly made things possible, it was very rare that I looked at a photo from that and felt, wow, that's amazing. However, looking at photos from the 300 F2.8, the best lens I've ever used, often I was just left gobsmacked. Made my heart skip a beat, some of those photos with that lens. I went through my Lightroom catalog and looked at wildlife images. I used the 300 with the 1.4, so at 300 and at 420 millimeter and at 600. And ultimately I decided that the 300, while too short for a lot of wildlife, especially North America, having to get too close to the animal, you're entering the animal's comfort zone. The image quality of that lens was superior to the RF 600. So what did I do? Well, I got the 400 F2.8, and it is in my f-stop Sheen camera bag with the R1 attached. So here we go. This is it. The 400 F2.8 RF version from Canon. The front element is massive, about as big as my head. Look at that. Look at that. The camera doesn't know what to focus on. Should I focus on that beautiful front element of the 2.8 RF 400 or on that mean mug? Let me talk you through the reasons why I got this lens. First of all, it should be said that when you're purchasing a $12,000 lens or a $13,000 lens or a $15,000 lens, you're not interested in compromise, right? You have decided that this lens is the best one for you, and these are the reasons why. Which is to say, if you think a 600 is for you, get it. If your photography necessitates a 600 f4, get it. Likewise, if your photography necessitates an 800, get it. If you want zoom capabilities, get it. Whatever it is that you photograph, and when you're putting this kind of money out there, just get the lens that you think that you need, and don't worry about everything else. We are thinking about other things. For me, I'm thinking about portability and the ability to hike and walk with it. What I found with the 600 f4, I was using it as a car lens. In North America, I would photograph from the roadside, photograph from right next to my car. When I had a shorter lens, that 300 f2.8 or the 300 with a 1.4 extender, I would often carry it into the mountains, put it in my rucksack, put it in my f-stop camera bags and hike out there and use it more in the wild rather than by the roadside. I want to get some multiple use out of it, which means I want to be able to photograph landscape, seascapes, waves, whatnot. While on safaris in Africa, of course I'll be in the vehicle, but the 600, I think, on safaris, a little too long for the mammals. For the birds, it's essential. If you're a birder, I think the 400 is going to be too short, but I'm not really a birder. I enjoy photographing birds, but I'm more photographing bears, lions, cheetah, wild dogs, wolves, and whatnot. Of the 1.4 extender for the 400, that gives me 560, which in my mind, with the 400, I'm actually getting 2 lenses in one. One 400 f2.8, 2 with a 1.4 extender, 560 at f4. So that's given me the capability to photograph a lot of the wildlife in North America, and perhaps the ideal focal length for photographing from a vehicle on an African safari. Also within Africa, we have the opportunity to do walking safaris in some countries. One location I'm looking at is Zimbabwe, where walking safaris are world renowned. Walking with a 600 f4 is difficult to do. I've tried it, I've done it, it's hard for me. So I think I'm going to be a little more comfortable with that 400. Another location would be Patagonia with puma tracking. So you do a lot of walking, tracking the pumas from what I understand. Patagonia is very, very windy. Imagine walking with that 600 f4, the massive lens hood and the wind blowing that. That's going to be a real challenge. So that's another reason why I think that 400 is going to be a little better option for me. Then we also have the logistics. I live in Hawaii. Every time I go to photograph wildlife, animals in a way, I'm taking a flight. I'm on an airplane or whatnot and traveling great distances. So the 400 is going to be a little easier to travel with. I can actually even put it in my Pelican case, I believe. I'll have to double check that, but I think I can. Lastly, the image quality. The image quality that I got from the 300 f2.8 Mark II was simply stellar. And the 400 f2.8 as the big brother of that 300, I think with the optics being nearly identical, I think I'll be able to get that stellar image quality that I'm looking for. I used it for the first time yesterday, handheld, because my tripod's getting serviced by Pro Media Gear. They're doing it all under warranty for free. They're even paying for shipping, so excellent customer service from Pro Media Gear. Shout out to them. But that's in the shop, so I don't have that tripod right now. So for 2 hours yesterday, I'm hand holding this bad boy, photographing birds, and I was able to do it. With the 600, that would be a tough ask. I don't know if I'd be able to do it, but the 400, I was able to, and the image quality so far so good, bro. So far so good. Tomorrow we'll take it back out, photograph birds along the coastline, so hopefully we'll get waves behind them and the ocean, which is very difficult for the camera to pick that up. Find the bird, locate the bird, track the bird, stay with the bird against that ocean backdrop. After tomorrow, I'll have a little more knowledge about the R1, a little more experience with the R1 and the 400 f2.8. And yeah, we'll report back to you then. Thanks for watching. Thank you for all your comments and your suggestions on lens that I should get for it, and for sharing the lenses that you have. And I think that the R1 with any of the super whites is a no-brainer. You know, photography's fun, and trust me, the super whites, they are a lot of fun. A lot of fun. The big whites, super telephotos, they're a lot of fun. They're expensive, but they're valuable. I think that's what we need to consider, the high value that these lenses give. All right, be good. Aloha.
The 400 2.8, it's a beast, and I love it.